You know, every time we take a step to walk, we are pushing back against the earth. If the earth wasn't there, we wouldn't move forward. Think of a swimmer. In a race, he pushes back on the tiled area in order to go forward into the water. And when he reaches the turn, he pushes hard against the wall underwater in order to go forward fast. You see, we have to push against something in order to go forward. And I see so many people who seem unable to do this, who seem immobilized, as if they have nothing to push against. And it's the way this has worked out, examining them, it's that they don't believe that they have an inner core that from which they push themselves forward. I was just talking to one woman, and what came to mind is on a punt, on a river, you know, the we call him the punter. he stands at the back with this long pole, and he pushes it into the bottom of the river to go forward. Well, imagine that this long pole is, as it were, the spine or the core of the person. They need that core inside in order to be able to reach out from there. Otherwise, they can't move forward, they can't reach out. I thought, for example, of an oyster. An oyster can't grow, and certainly can't grow a pearl, if it's not attached to a rock. It needs the rock in order to grow, to then be able to grow a pearl. So it needs to grow a pearl, it needs the little grain of sand on the inside, but needs the rock on the outside. And so there's this inner core, this rock within us that is essential for our stability, essential for our progress. And most people, or many people, believe that they don't have such a core, that everything they do is like on the outside, not coming from a center, not being that the outer behavior is not, as it were, pushing back against this core and then coming forward. There's nothing inside which is, as it were, impelling their body forward into progress. Like one woman with this said, she really doesn't want to solve her problems. She just wants them to go away, to not exist. But when she found her core, then she was able to work on her problems, to move forward from it. Now, this belief in having a core or not then relates to small intestine sadness. Small intestine 3, which is a very interesting problem, which many, many years ago I used to call the Good Samaritan problem, was those people who not wanted to, but felt able to help others. You can want to, but you may not feel able to. You can have altruistic intention, but not feel capable of carrying it out. You see, and this is like the essence of this core problem. Because you want to reach out with love, but sadly you can't, because there's nothing that you're reaching out from. There's no wall behind you or inside you that you can like sort of kick off from, that can give you a purchase to go forward. Was it Newton's first or second law of motion, whatever it is. Now, and once you overcome this particular problem, then they can start to reach out. Then they can start to give love. Then they can carry out their altruistic, loving intentions. Now, when I go on to say, all right, now that you have a core, having small intestine 3, what is at your core? And eventually, if not immediately, it comes down to one particular activity which is there. And that is music. With artists, it's still music. It's always the music. Somehow or other, we recognize that music comes from our core and can be most used to reach out from ourselves to give love to another. Fascinating, isn't it? Which is why I think the outreach work we do, Institute of Music and Health, in the old people's homes and so forth, it's so valuable to use the music, especially when we have it coming from our core. Otherwise, it's just entertainment. It's not music to raise the spirit, not true music. So it's always music. So when I work with this point, I always then help the person to get in touch with their music and to use it in this way. If I'm working with any musician, you've got to make them realize that the music is at their core, and that's what it's there for, to reach out from this core. So you have to always be sure that they believe that they have this core that they can reach out from. Now, under the music at the core is always love. And some people will go right to that. For example, they say it's loving my children, parenting, loving my wife, whatever it may be. There's the love. Under the music is always the love. So the love is like the first vehicle for the reaching out from the core. You understand? So it always goes back to the music, and then behind that, you take it back to the love. That's true music. But you've always got to make sure the person believes that he has a core, that he can reach out with his music, with his love as music. He can reach out from that core. Very, very important.